an avocado.
The federal government is building a concentration camp in Florida. They're calling it Alligator Alcatraz. The President of the United States did photo ops at it today. They're selling merch. No one can pretend that we don't know what's about to happen. This is literally a concentration camp surrounded by alligators, and masked men are grabbing people off the street and throwing them into facilities like this. It's going to get so much worse.
You know, I can't get this one comment out of my mind. You see, I posted that video on July 2nd. It got seen by so many people, tens of thousands of comments, millions of views, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's so many different comments. But this one comment, I can't find it now, but it was by this lady named Stacy. And she said, "Why do you care? If you're a citizen, you have nothing to worry about." And it's been stuck in the back of my mind every moment. Why do you care? Why do you care that the American government is building concentration camps in a swamp? Why do you care? You're a citizen. And I just kept getting stuck on it. Because first thing, even if I didn't care, I could still fucking talk about it. Stacy? But as a citizen, I have a First Amendment right, don't I? To be able to just complain about the government spending money on dumb shit. They're building a concentration camp with tents from event logistics companies. Tents that are typically used for weddings and fucking Fire Island style, Fire Festival style music concerts. That's what these tents are usually for. They're for corporate events, and instead they're being used for human rights violations. Stacy, at the bare minimum, as a citizen, if I just wanted to stay conservative about it, I would just complain about the money. This is a $450 million facility, Stacy. $450 million. A half a fucking $1 billion has been spent to put 4,000 bunk beds on an airstrip in the middle of a swamp. And for why, Stacy? For why? That's the part I keep getting stuck on, because I'm constantly being told all the time of all the things we don't have money for. I think a lot about how we've had a push in the last few years to make school lunches free in our public schools. Do you know how many school lunches we could have bought for the price of a $450 million concentration camp in the middle of the fucking Florida Everglades? Do you know how many fucking kids we could feed, Stacy? 656,168 kids, Stacy, every day getting free lunch for a fucking year. A year! That's what we could have fucking done. But instead, we built a concentration camp in the middle of hurricane-prone waters that is already flooding. For photo ops, Stacy. For fucking photo ops. For memes, Stacy. For memes. I understand that a lot of people are seeing this at the ridiculous fucking clown level as it is. We have road signs now for Alligator Alcatraz. They want to depict it as an inescapable prison, ringed by alligators, like a death trap that you would see in a Bond movie. That's how they want to push this, because the president wants to feel big. Ron DeSantis wants to feel tall. All of these people who have absolutely nothing to show, want to feel strong and big boys. So instead of feeding our children, we're going to terrorize communities. We're going to send masked men. Masked men, Stacy. And I could already feel some of the comments. They're only going after illegals. Some of you are PC. They're only going after undocumented. That's not true either, is it? Is it? Because a lot of these kidnappings are happening inside of courthouses. Judges dismiss a case. The person walks out with paperwork. Their name listed on asylum documentation. Maybe on a visa dispute. Maybe they already have a fucking green card. And they're being nabbed by masked men and whisked away to be processed for a future deportation. And where are they being whisked to? Well, now it's Alligator Alcatraz, and soon it will be in many other facilities like it across the nation, Stacy. Because, Stacy, you saw how mad I was about $450 million. How about $45 billion, Stacy? Billion with a B. You big bitch. $45 billion is what was just set aside in that budget bill that the president signed on Independence Day. Remember July 4th? America stood up to a tyrant. We said no more. The president of the United States signed a bill creating more detention facilities, more concentration camps, where we can take people that we don't know what their status or their documentation is, and we can concentrate them together so we can process them. And then we can put them on a plane and take them wherever we think they need to go. And yes, we're using planes this time because running railroad tracks would be... I know what you're thinking. Well, you still haven't dealt with the citizen part. You're a citizen. Well, Stacy, he wants to go after citizens. You know that, right? Donald Trump has said it. He said he wanted to go after naturalized citizens like Elon Musk and Zoran Mamdani. The Elon Musk who paid, by the way, who paid for Donald Trump to be president? Elon Musk has been on his shit recently, and Trump decided to remind Elon that he's a naturalized citizen, and the Department of Justice could just look into whether or not he lied on his citizenship application, Stacy. And Zoran Mamdani, what great sin did he commit, Stacy? He became the Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City, Stacy. And now, what happened? Now, regularly, the President of the United States says that they want to revoke his citizenship and then send masked ICE goons to storm into New York City, grab him, and whisk him away to somewhere because he views Zoran Mamdani as a national security threat, Stacy. Because those are the exact words that the Department of Justice has started to put forward while talking and investigating how they can pull more people's citizenship, naturalized citizens. So I know what you're now thinking, Stacy. Well, if you were born here, if you were born in the United States, then you have nothing to worry about. Stacy, you're talking about homegrowns. And you know what the president said about homegrown, Stacy?
Yeah, I said homegrowns are next. The homegrowns built. You got to build about 5 more places.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
That's right. He said the homegrowns are next. Initially, he said it as a joke, but slowly he's been saying it more and more, Stacy. He's been saying it more and more. And I know what you're thinking. Well, if there'll be court cases, the Supreme Court will stop it. Will it? Will it stop it, Stacy? Because right now, he's talking about stripping away birthright citizenship, Stacy. Because that was just to deal with the slaves, according to his words. He's trying to say that a constitutional amendment might not be constitutional, Stacy. And then some of those people who are rounded up, well, if the farmers say they're good people, then maybe they'll put them on a work release program. You know, Stacy. So they can keep planting things in that station where they work. You know what? That's too long to say. Let's just call it a plantation. Why would a citizen not want this to happen? Why would a citizen be mad that they're selling merch? Why would I be mad that my tax dollars are being spent to torture people ripped off of my own very streets, and then to watch that same government sell merch?
I just want everyone to know that there's official Alligator Alcatraz merch. There it is, provided to us by the state of Florida. Incredible. And yeah, would you rock this drip? Look at that.
AI artists are creating merch. Everyone's making a buck off of these people suffering, Stacy. But you don't think it matters. Because you have Christian in your bio, right? Because you know the truth. Jesus never would have spoken up against an oppressive imperialist government that was silencing dissenters. They would never go out of their way to make a list of where everybody was born, and then if they don't like them, track them down. No. That's not how that works, right, Stacy? Not in your Bible.